Welcome back, everyone, to the Run the Seam Show, and thank you so much for watching the channel and listening. That's right, we have officially started our Spotify account. We have been teasing this for a while, but we finally got off our lazy bones and are getting it going. We also are going to have some awesome theme music for this week's episode. That's right. We officially have a theme song for the channel provided by our guy, the great artist Riley Copeland, who gave us this banger track to use. If you guys like what we are putting out, just reminder, like and subscribe. We love putting out this dumb stuff for you guys to listen to on your ways to work or to just while you're falling asleep. You know what I mean? And we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. We're going to be at the White House for the UFC live event that's happening on the lawn. We're going to do some on the street content for that one. So remember, like and subscribe, and let's keep this party going. Without further ado, folks, let's get into this week's episode and talk about some draft. Woo! Welcome back, everyone, to the Run the Seam Show. Kevin, I don't know about you, but I am excited for this episode this week.
Yeah, we got a real treat for the fans, for our many subscribers.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yes, that has gone up to, what are we at now?
We're at 52 now?
Kevin? I believe so.
I was number 51
Hell
5 minutes
yeah.
ago. Let's go.
And folks who are watching or listening at home, we are joined by the brain of the NFL operation that we have on this show, Mr. Jared. Say hi, Jared.
Hey, guys. It's good to be back.
Great. And for the first time ever, we have somebody who actually has professional podcasting experience joining us. Let's cap it up for Cameron. All right, come on.
What's up, everybody?
How you
Holy
doing, bud?
shit.
Cameron, I got to just start by saying this, dude. When you sent us that you have a mock draft of the entire mock already prepared and well thought out, I realized, crap, I am out of my league with this guy. So what I just want to do real quick, give you an opportunity to talk about like where you started with this passion that you clearly have when it comes to like the NFL Combine, analyzing players as they're getting ready to make that next step. Where was it born, and like what was your journey?
Yeah, man. So out of college, I was a personal trainer and then became a strength and conditioning coach. So I've worked with a lot of athletes from every, level of play up through professional. And what I really specialized in was developing high school athletes to play in college. And what that is basically going over and teaching movement skills to athletes, primarily soccer players, but I've worked with basketball and football teams as well. And through that, I felt like I am pretty good at identifying movement patterns and translatable skills. So in 2019-ish, I've always been into fantasy football for the last 22 years. I've been playing with Jared fantasy football.
Wait. How does Jared do in other leagues? I need to know this because I only know his profile in one.
He's pretty good. He knows his stuff.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he actually got me into the NFL draft around 2019. And from there, I kind of took off and ran with it. I've been getting all 22 film, player evals, rankings. 2024 was when I really took off. I did over 200 player evals on at least a full year of tape, a lot of times going back to the prior year. Write-ups, did a podcast, all the above. So I absolutely love it. If I ever sense a weakness in my game, if I'm wrong about something, I always go back and try to hone my skill set. So I absolutely love pretty much every aspect of the NFL, from the X's and O's to the roster building to the draft, of course, to like contract structures and building, and every little thing. It's what I do with all my free time. So.
Cameron, I'm gonna you're monologuing, so I gotta get you on one thing here.
Do it.
No, not get you. I have to agree with you on one thing here. I was thinking about this the other day. The NFL draft is the culmination of everything in the world of football coming together in like one moment. You got the college players with their success. You got like the different contractual amounts that are still up for grabs with each team. You got the GMs having to like play chess with each other. And then you got to be thinking about what offseason moves have they already made? What offseason moves are going to be coming with the free agency? There's just so much you got to be thinking about. And that's why today, when I was taking notes for this, I felt like I was, in a mental ward, because it was like the writings on the wall, like the Charlie Day meme. You know what I mean? Like, Jared, you're an It's Always Sunny fan. What was the guy that he made up? From that episode I'm
The
talking about?
male
No,
episode, yeah.
The male episode, but there was a character.
Pepe Sylvia.
Pepe Sylvia.
Pepe
Good
Sylvia.
pull. There you
Pepe
go.
Sylvia. Yes, Roger Goodell was my Pepe Sylvia today. As I was trying to figure this out. But Cameron, we're really happy to have you on, man. So guys, we got an around the horn situation going on here. So let's just start going right into it. The one thing I want to start with, combine results of players that might have shocked you guys. And I'm going to start with my own personal one. And that would be, as I flip through my notes, there's a lot of notes I took today. Like I said, Mr. Taylor Green from Arkansas, the quarterback.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys saw, that guy dominated every quarterback stat and test that happened at the combine. Cameron, feel free to cut me off if I'm saying
No,
the wrong
keep
thing,
rolling.
by the way. I don't like rolling. It's a bad thing. And Kevin knows it. It's a bad thing when you just let me talk
Oh
nonstop.
no.
Uh-oh, Tyler's
But-
becoming self-aware.
No,
Oh,
not
no.
no. He has become self-aware. That's right. But nah, I think, and Kev, I'm stepping on when we're going to talk about the QBs here. Carson Beck is going into the NHL. It's finally happening. The rumors are true. He's not following an Instagram model to another college. He's actually going to be going to the NHL. You get in this position where you got to pick between him and Taylor Green from Arkansas. Kev.
The one, this is just like, is he going to be a Terrell Pryor? Is he going to be who's the LSU quarterback who was no
Garrett Nussmeier.
from a long time ago, the big guy. No,
Joe Burrow.
farther back. I'm talking about a big bust. Just sometimes when you have these quarterbacks that come out with these freak numbers in the combines, I almost kind of, I don't want to say I grade that against them, but there have been a lot of who's Richardson too. Just like sometimes it doesn't translate, in my opinion. But this Arkansas quarterback is looking very impressive.
Yeah, and Cameron,
I was
you.
just gonna hop in and say, people often the common saying in the industry is count it twice, right? People know he's athletic, people know he has traits, they grade him accordingly, and then he does what everyone knows he's gonna do at the combine, or maybe he outperforms, but still, then they're like, oh yeah, this guy's athletic. Let's move him up again on our boards. So his baseline isn't necessarily where you already had him, because you already accounted for his athletic traits. His baseline's a lot lower than that. So I'm with you, Kevin. Like I haven't quite gotten to his tape. Been a harder year with that, but yeah, it's
Well,
I'm not in.
and you can be forgiven for not knowing about his tape, man. With Arkansas, with the year that they had, me and Kev, no, I mean, everybody here knows they weren't the best team. That's why they went through a complete, pretty much restructuring this offseason. That being said, you know what? I just want to keep talking about quarterbacks for a second, Cameron. I know it's not exciting. Don't.
Oh, keep going, man.
Thank you.
And just sticking on Taylor Green for a sec. Did you guys see the interview that he had with John Gruden?
That was awesome.
That was hilarious.
That was awesome. Jared, have you been keeping up with like Gruden's QB corner this week?
No, that's the only clip that I've seen where he like basically bullied Taylor Green into accepting that he would become a wide receiver if it didn't work out at quarterback.
That's something. Oh yeah,
he berated him.
Everybody's got to have a backup plan. Everybody's got to have a backup plan.
Yeah, exactly.
But then Jared, also stepping on the toes of your Pittsburgh Steelers situation. How does it feel when Aaron Rodgers is inevitably going to back away like the scumbag that he is in the current free agency, and that you're going to be stuck with a Garrett Nussmeier, and you're going to rob him of a chance to go to the Saints and play with his dad? How does that feel?
Oh man, Mason Rudolph, Garrett Nussmeier, and Will Howard is a terrible. It has to be the worst, by far the worst. Quarterback room in the league.
I will
Atrocious.
not listen to this Will Howard slander.
McCarthy likes him. I wanna be with you on that.
And does he actually?
Yeah, he's come out and said that he like really, I mean, it's probably classic coach speak, but he's come out and said that he really likes Will Howard's stuff, thinks he's a future in this league. stuff like that. But yeah, it's terrible. Art Rooney has come out and said that that Aaron Rodgers will make a decision about going back to the Steelers before the NFL draft starts this year, as opposed to last year, where he obviously led us on even further than that.
I was looking it up and I saw the answer he gave was like the most Aaron Rodgers answer. He's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm coming back, well, as long as the contract can be worked out," like kind of deal. And I'm like, "Oh boy, he's in the sleep deprivation chamber again." Oh, somebody come get him.
I think he saw ultimate bag getter Kirk Cousins get that contract, and so now he's trying to use that in the negotiating room, and that's why it's going on so long. That's my theory.
Speaking about Kirk Cousins' new team, one thing that I want to kind of bring about to all you guys, I want to see if you agree. Have you ever seen a situation where it's like just nobody's even thinking Mendoza's going anywhere else and nobody's thinking the Raiders are going to pick anybody else? Can you guys remember that happening? Like, it's like everybody's just like, all right, and the number 2 pick is, wait, what are you talking about? The number, we already know who the number 1 is. I don't remember this. I don't.
I mean, yeah, that happens pretty often, right? Trevor Lawrence, like everyone knew he was going first overall. Joe Burrow
is who
like even in the last few years, it's always.
I'm gonna cut that part.
Can't cut every time you're an idiot. We'd have 10 minutes.
Well, no, we'd have to cut the whole show. I get that. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, okay. I'm gonna hold on one second. I gotta look back through my notes. Kev,
no, you're good. Let me hop in real quick to tie in what we're talking about with the combine with the Steelers. So Jared, your resident Steelers guy, the Steelers have had 3 top 30 visits with quarterbacks so far. Carson Beck, Taylor Green, surprisingly enough, and then Cole Payton. And I didn't know if you had any thoughts on any of those. I think Cole Payton is fun. I mean, he could end up just being like a fullback, but Cole Payton is exciting. And then Carson Beck, Taylor Green, and when I'm going through Steelers, I kind of like, if I'm taking a quarterback, man, it's hard. It's hard, right? Because I feel like Will Howard is a developmental guy who they've had sitting, and if you're going to go for a day 3 quarterback, why would you take someone over Will Howard? Like the logic doesn't make sense unless they fall in love with the guy, which if clearly they're trying to do because they had 3 visits, which is I think tied with the most anyone's had. Yeah, the Dolphins are the only other team who's had. That's a lie, and the Panthers, surprisingly, who've had 3 quarterbacks in.
Yeah, I saw we had a visit with Aller too.
Really? Okay, that's not reported right now on CBS, but I believe you.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to address it, yeah, I mean, if we get Rodgers back, I don't think we take, another quarterback. I don't think we need another development 101. I agree Will Howard is the guy there. If we do somehow have to go into the season with Rudolph, Howard, and then a third, I'm okay with any of those guys, I guess, as a developmental prospect. There also is a weird family connection that I saw when I was researching. Even though we didn't use a visit on Nussmeier, Nussmeier's dad is like a quarterbacks coach, has floated around the league, and he's been in like the McCarthy like coaching tree and network. He was the quarterbacks coach actually for McCarthy in Dallas. So like little family connection there that I guess could make it possible.
He's also a better prospect than the others, in my opinion, or at least the general consensus.
Yeah, but Cameron, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the consensus right now that it's like, all right, obviously Mendoza, and then you're gonna have maybe Ty Simpson in the first round, but then after that, there's like just a steep drop before anybody's like looking at a quarterback again.
The Browns could take anyone in the third.
That's true. They can.
But yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, some team might like Nussmeier, but pretty much how I see it, it's you have Mendoza, you have Ty Simpson. We don't have to get into the Ty Simpson discussion because everyone has it, but it's what comes after that. And what I see is teams will bring these guys in, and if they like a guy who they think they'll get on a day 3 contract who can step in and not die when they have to take over for a couple weeks, someone who actually knows what they're doing, they can follow a game plan, operate an NFL system, then they'll like that guy more than someone, again, like some teams probably going to take Taylor Green in like the 4th because he's fast. And
Yeah.
we've seen how that always works out. I mean, Anthony Richardson was per combine metrics, the freakiest quarterback of all time.
Yep.
And like Mike Renner, big NFL draft name, he constantly said, if Richardson was a tight end, I'd still take him in the 1st because he's that freaky of an athlete. And that looks great so far. But but then you get, again, guys like Taylor Green. How often do these day 3 freak shows work out? Never. I mean, it's very rare that they actually, like, I'm talking about guys who don't have good tape, like they don't throw the ball well, but they're very athletic. I mean, it just doesn't happen much. What's significantly more likely is when teams get these day 3 guys who are, it's like, oh, they'll never be a great starter because they're a little undersized, they're a pocket passer. It's like, yeah, but they're smart and they can operate a system for 3 weeks if the starter goes down. So I think overall for teams, that's a bit more enticing because it's more stable. But that argument almost goes out the window for the Steelers because they have Rudolph and Howard, so that's not the archetype you're looking for, in my opinion.
Right.
I agree with you.
I totally get that. Okay, last point. Okay, I have like 3 points I want to. No, not last point on quarterbacks. I want to go back to give the flowers to one coach from college who has produced some great players, and that's going to be Matt Patricia. I mean, dude, 4 players who on that defense from Ohio State who are going to be the top ranked player in that position. I'm obviously talking about Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and then Caden McDonald actually going at number 20 is the number 1 ranked defensive tackle. But Cameron, I see you looking at making that face. He's the one who's only listed as a defensive tackle on the Sports Illustrated like 50 list.
Oh no, I love it. I'm just wondering what you mean by going top 20.
I did do research.
Yeah, my face was when you said then going top 20. You're just saying arbitrarily like he might go top 20. Gotcha.
He's ranked number 20 on
the list you're looking
Sports
at.
Illustrated list, but that's the number 1 ranked defensive tackle.
Yeah,
this is Tyler's proprietary big board that he's
okay. That's
his algorithm.
That makes
right
sense.
There.
His algorithm has it sorted out.
Yeah.
He's an algorithm guy.
Big time algorithm
big
guy.
Data guy.
Yeah, that's why our YouTube channel's done so well because we've really figured out the algorithm.
In a certain space, Kevin, in a certain space. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about was just about how lackluster it seems like the weapons pool is this year as compared to others. Like I know at the top end you got like guys like Cardinal Tate, Jeremiah Love, but when you start like petering down after that, it's like the same thing as the QBs where once you get past the first like 20 players that are going, I think it's really like a mixed ball sort of like all these like parody. Are you guys? Do you guys understand what I'm saying when I mean that?
I get the vibe, and I think a lot of that is because a lot of Virginia Tech players decide to come back, so they're not in the draft. I think that would really.
Kev, how do you feel about the number 1 ranked cornerback?
I saw that literally like 2 hours ago. That was first it came across my desk.
Yeah.
It just goes to show the best thing you can
Cameron,
do for your career as a collegiate athlete is transfer from Virginia Tech. We'll see how Neo does at UNC, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and we're talking obviously about Mansour Lane. He's pretty much, I think, been hovering around going 9-10. Cameron, in every mock draft I'm seeing, like I think hasn't dropped lower than 12 because, like, you know, there are a lot of teams that are sharpening up their secondaries as we've seen. I think a couple of teams that I saw that could be picking up a quarterback. It's going to be guys like obviously, well, Bengals and Jets, both teams that need to like improve their defenses, like from top down, pretty much after last season. Especially looking at the Jets' current like injury status. I know there's still a lot of time, but they got like 8 of their depth chart defensive players who are all going to be injured. Hold on, you pull up the names here. Well, Kevin.
Not all going to be injured to start the season, but yeah, have
no, they're not. No, and I do understand that they're not all going to be injured to start the season. But then Cameron, here I'm going to bore you with more numbers when it comes to that Jets starting defensive players. 3 of them are in the bottom 50 percentile of like the PFF rankings by position for those guys, and you know they're all getting they're not an older crowd, but they're not like a younger crew, like who's a team that has like a good younger secondary I could compare them to? Jared.
Sorry, I was reading here. What was the question?
Who's a good young secondary in the league?
I mean, you could
I was
argue the Commanders if you talk about Sainer Still and Trey Amos. That's a pretty on the
Okay.
nose one.
Yeah, I don't have a better
Yeah.
answer than that. That's good.
You have a better answer than
I
that?
don't have a
then
better
it's
answer than that.
decided.
That's a good answer.
Okay. Kev, you had your hand up.
The Colts, I hear Sauce Gardner's a pretty good cornerback.
That's
Maybe
true.
the Jets should trade for him.
I don't understand that trade. I really don't.
They were on a roll. They had one huge positional weakness. They took a giant swing at one of the best corners in the league. I'm going to stand by one of the best corners in the league. He goes
Okay.
up and down, but every cornerback in the NFL goes up and down unless your name is Darrelle Revis. So it's just how the position works is you're going to get beat by receivers. But so they went out, got someone, and thought we're going to win the Super Bowl this year, which was, I mean, from an outsider perspective, no one else really thought that, even though they were on a roll. But that's what they thought internally. And a lot of times the public perception of teams and what a team thinks about themselves are completely different because it's hard to get an objective view from within. So I don't love the trade. I think it was an overpay, but I do think they got a really good player. And that for, at pick 16 where they would be picking, they likely wouldn't have gotten anyone like Sauce Gardner as it is. The second first is nuts, but I see the thought process at least.
Let's talk people who could trade up. The Cowboys are the first one that come to my mind about wanting to snag a top spot. They're another team that I think has shown that they want to be really aggressive this offseason. I think that there's probably some urgency with Dak coming up with that age and how much longer you're going to get production out of him. You know what I mean? So when I was doing this mock draft earlier, I was thinking to myself, could they potentially, if Caleb Downs is still on the board when the Commanders are going to make their pick, give him an offer he can't refuse?
Ooh, I don't think so.
No?
I have several things to say about that, but to keep it short,
Go ahead.
So first of all, the Dallas doesn't have a second or third round pick, right? So let me confirm that. Okay, no, they traded Odigizua for pick 92, but they go 12, 20, 92, right? So they don't have like a second round pick that they could use straight up. It would be 12 and 20 in order to come up to 7, and then the Commanders still have a second round pick. So the best pick they could throw back is like 73-ish, 71. So I don't think that trade, they'd have to get a little creative. Secondly, why are Washington and Dallas trading with each other? Why would Washington give up picks for Dallas to go get their guys? It just I have a whole thing with interdivisional trades.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
Yes, you guys got Saquon. I know, dude.
Collusion against us.
Yes, we got so interdivisional trades happen often. They happen a lot because the teams know each other. The GMs communicate, but there's a limit to that, right? Teams are going to trade with each other when it's like it's clearly beneficial to the team, each team in their opinion, and it's like late round swaps, low end players. Team's not going to go up to get it like trade in their division to get a cornerstone piece for their team. That's what I think. And I certainly don't think a team's going to give up 2 firsts.
Fair enough.
Everything happens in the draft. Everyone's surprised every year. It could happen. But
so who do you see trading up, my friend?
Well, here's the thing. So I think the third part is that I think Dallas, I think you nailed it. Dallas is a team that wants to trade up. That's pretty much what everyone's talking about when they're like, okay, every team from picks 2 or 3 to 7 wants to trade down. I would say 8 because it makes sense, but the Saints don't trade down. That's just not what they do. And everyone's like, okay, Dallas has 2 first round picks. Dallas wants like Sony Styles. They'd want to come up. So my pushback would be, do you give 2 firsts to go get a safety who has not had a lot of ball production? Caleb Downs might be the best player in the draft. He's elite. He will make your defense better, but he's not a turnover machine. And I think that if you're going to invest in the offense like they keep drafting first round offensive linemen, anyone named Tyler, welcome to the welcome to the party.
Mhm.
They're George Pickens,
Oh,
CeeDee Lamb, giant contracts, right? Because tag is massive for wide receiver, and they're paying Dak. He was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL for a bit, and it's like you're so. How do you play? When you when you invest everything in the offense. Well, you're not going to have studs across the board, so you're not going to have like a bend don't break defense. You're going to need a high risk defense that can get turnovers, that can get your offense the ball, and you're going to win games 40-30, right? Because you get the ball more. So I don't see Caleb Downs fitting that mold of that would work necessarily in that system. I think he would elevate the defense a lot, but I think if they're going to trade up, get a defensive player, it's going to be someone who can make turnovers happen a lot more reliably. Someone like Sony Styles, he's always at the ball. He can go sideline to sideline. He forces fumbles like it's nobody's business, and he is the most athletic human being on the planet right now. So that's my thought on system fit. So when you say Caleb
okay.
Downs, like, yeah, they could trade up for him, but I don't think it makes too much sense to give up 2 firsts for that.
No, totally. And I mean, with a team like Dallas, you know that Jerry is like gonna maybe try to go all front heavy, like the gambling man mentality, so to speak. But
No.
I I get nervous seeing them like try to be all active like this sometimes in an offseason as an Eagles fan because it makes me think that they're gonna like try to be so top heavy and go after it a lot harder. But I mean, I've always had that feeling with Dallas a little bit, even though they haven't won since I was born. But that's okay. I like the
Jared, you
Cardinals.
got something? I
Kevin,
saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, just on the same on the talk of trading up. I do think the Steelers are candidates. We have 12 draft picks, and I think we only have like 8 open roster spots. So I think there's incentive. We have 12 draft picks and like clear, pretty defined team needs at a couple positions. So I think the Steelers are candidates.
Off the
And
cuff.
then
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, please, yeah.
I was gonna say off the cuff, do you have any um range for trade up spots? Just because I don't see them getting into the top 8 picks from
No,
team 1.
no. I think if we like saw the right opportunity to trade up for Ioane, hopefully
Yeah.
I'm pronouncing that correctly, right? The guard. I think
Yep.
he's like the most obvious pick, so I could see, trading up just a couple spots to get him. And then maybe if like a top 5 or something wide receiver drops, into the late first or early second, see maybe an opportunity to trade up there to get one of those guys.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I will say the Eagles are not going to trade up under any circumstance, probably. I don't see a reason for it. Cameron, you look puzzled
No,
as I say that.
I'm just usually puzzled when you talk. I got something
I
for you.
said Cameron, not Kevin.
Carson Beck.
Okay, just
This might be my own preconceived
what the
biases,
hell?
but I see him going to Dallas, and I won't take any counterpoints to that. But continue with the Eagles.
He's going to the Jets, and him and Geno Smith under a failing Aaron Glenn is going to be the funniest QB duo to watch. Just collapse on themselves. But no, back to before I was rudely interrupted by Kevin. The Eagles, I don't think are going to go for a trade up just because I think the biggest thing in our basket, and I appreciated Cameron, you reflecting this in your mock draft that you sent over, is we got to get a tight end. We got Calcaterra and Goddard both in free contracts are up right now. We're not keeping them both. I can tell you that much. So, but if we can't get a tight end, there's no weapon position with how he's got for us right now. I think AJ Brown's definitely going to the Patriots, but with Dontavian Wicks, Hollywood Brown, and Devontae Smith now being our wide receiver core, I don't see a need to go for like a wide receiver or something to throw to outside of a tight end until like round 4. So the Eagles definitely were going to probably need to rebuild the defense because, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, we lost a lot of producers. We lost our edge, and Jalen Phillips, who was a big contender when we thought we still had a shot last season before we had an OC. I didn't shut up. We had an OC who was riding the short bus to school every day, so that's kind of what happened there. But God, no, I lost my point. But no, we need to rebuild our defense. Thanks for throwing me off, Cameron. We need to rebuild our defense. So that's why I'm looking at who could possibly fall to us. I'm even thinking about names like Rodriguez from Texas Tech. That's a guy I could potentially see us going with to rebuild, like especially at the front. Brandon. Crap. I'm blanking on his name. Cameron Rodriguez, the edge from or linebacker from Texas Tech.
Yeah, he's an inside linebacker, but you just
Right.
drafted Jihad Campbell in the first round last year, and you have Zach Bond, and you play a 3-4, so you pretty much only have 2 linebackers on the field at the same time, and you have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. as depth. So I think
Okay.
so I don't necessarily see an inside linebacker early, but I could see an outside linebacker because you lost all your
Commanders
names.
fan,
Yeah, I got it
Stumps,
mixed up
little
there.
Eagles fan.
I'm gonna be
Flip it.
posting all this, and I'm gonna look like the biggest idiot. Flip what? Yeah, flip it. No,
Saying
okay,
flip it.
look, it's gonna be clipped. I know what I'm doing. Okay. If we don't get Sadiq, I want a defensive player. Screw all of you. Okay. All right, you know what? You guys
So
talk.
Eagles.
Tyler,
Every
any
time,
trade
I
ups?
talk.
You thinking? Not the Eagles.
No.
So Eagles roster overall is very solid, right? It always is because of how it's managed. So my reaction when you said no trade up, I don't think it's going to happen. But if you already have like 48 players that you think are going to make the 53-man roster, then like trading up just makes sense because it's likely that your 6th, 7th round pick. I actually don't know if you have those late picks right now. Because I thought it stopped at like 197 is your last pick. But still, 6th round pick might not even make the roster, which is pretty common. So if you have like a 3rd round grade on someone and you're picking out 178 and pick 140 comes and the guy's still there, you might package a couple of those like guys to come up. But I get your point.
Can I get that in writing?
Early.
And can I get that in writing so I can talk to people about it and say it was my idea?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got
Appreciate
you.
it.
I'll put some emojis in there so you can read it better. But with the Eagles, I think you're right that they do have some very distinct weaknesses on the roster, and I think edge and not they have a bunch of like DPRs, right? They have a lot of designated pass rushers who are undersized, can get after a quarterback, but they don't really have any edge setting defensive ends or edge outside linebackers. They just have small guys who can rush and not cover, so they can't be on the field for every down, right? So I think addressing that at some point will be important. I also don't think you want Marcus Epps starting at strong safety. So I think strong safety is a
Which is why I've been saying since the beginning that I want a strong safety. Yeah.
And then lastly, I don't think you need Kenyon Sadiq or Eli Stowers like first, 2nd round tight end. I gave you Kenyon Sadiq in my latest mock because I think that would be fun. But honestly, like as you said, you have Goddard and Calcaterra, and they're both on their last year of their deals. You can get someone like Sam Roush, the 3rd, with pick 98, or another like developmental guy who can just be your tight end 3 to start for this year, and then move up to either that tight end 1 or 2 spot next year, and still have re-sign one of those guys. Probably not Goddard because the whole situation happened earlier in the offseason. But I don't think it's a pressing need unless again you just think you can get a Sadiq and completely change the way your offense operates. And not to talk forever, but the biggest reason that I gave you that pick is because I think that I think AJ Brown will be traded, and I think that teams going into the playoffs typically survive better when they have a strong ground game, and heavier personnel sets are really starting to creep back in over the last 3 to 4 years because all the linebackers coming out of college have to be fast, so they're all dropping down to like 220. And if every linebacker is 220 and playing spread, you can have a 240-pound tight end absolutely detonates someone who previously couldn't really be lined up in line because they were considered too small. So like the Rams, they constantly use 13 personnel. Like they have tight ends galore on the field at all times, even if they're not even that good, because they can pass out of it, they can chip, they can do pretty much anything they want. Now they run a lot of power, but I think if you have someone like Kenyon Sadiq on the same team with Goddard and Calcaterra. You just have options, and Sadiq can be. I mean, he can be used out of the backfield, be used as a fullback. He can do all that Kyle Juszczyk motion crap that they use in San Francisco. He can go in the slot. So I think he fits as a piece more so than like we need a tight end.
His combine was insane, by the way. I saw 4.39 40, and I think I have it here, 43.5 inch vert. Wild.
43.5.
I think that's what I saw. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
And then Eli Sowers bodied him, but we don't need to.
It bodied him in like in terms of the combine stats, or how do you?
I just in the he had a 45-inch vert. That's all.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Kevin, since you decided to join us again, okay, I'm going to share my screen for a second because I feel like before I give you 5 minutes to talk Virginia Tech football, we got to watch a clip here real quick.
Let's do it.
Yeah, okay.
Tyler's like the substitute teacher.
Here's skydiving bloopers.
Puts on a video for us.
You know, that's if this doesn't work out, yeah, if this does not work out, Jared, that is a solid backup plan in my life.
Is it Mansour Delane being average?
Okay, you know what, Cameron,
and I hate to defend Tyler, but game one of the college football season last year, he did predict that Delane was going to get an interception off Clemson, and that did happen. So, crap. God dang it.
I didn't like his point, so I kicked him.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, I'm going to share my screen. It's been taking me a while, and I'll wait. How do I? Why is it taking so goddamn long? Yeah, I still haven't figured out.
We can keep riffing. Let us know.
Yeah, keep.
Yeah, we can talk forever.
Keep riffing, boys. Riff
so,
Aaron,
yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Tyler. We'll get to it.
All right. This is at Virginia Tech spring game. Is that loud?
Oh.
Yeah, so we had some guy coming down to the field on a parachute, and he just ate it on the sign at the end there. Yeah.
This is good podcasting, dude. Holy shit.
Why was the audio like just terrible?
No, it was good. Yeah, but like if you're just an audio listener, you're just hearing.
Hey, wait, I missed the clip. What was it?
Just so the crowd noise, video. Basically. Yeah. But you described it well. You described it completely accurately.
I'll do it in sign language next time. I'm sure that'll work.
Perfect.
Kev, we shared the video while you were glitching out again, so you didn't get to
enough.
see it, but they did see in all the glory the parachute hitting the score bug. Kev, current state, because we're not going to be doing another football episode, probably, a real in-depth football episode like this until probably like a month before the season starts. Right now, go on your soapbox about where you're at with Virginia Tech football.
Obviously the biggest story of the offseason, aside from the Skydivers, was James Franklin joining, and then Brent Pry coming back on months after being fired. So I think that dynamic has finally sort of played out, and people aren't talking about it anymore. I'm sure week one of the college football season, we're going to have a lot of annoying comments about it from commentators. But onto the actual players. So for the game on Saturday, the spring game, the Wyatt team got it done. And before I get into the actual stats, one nice thing, Will Love, who's John Love, our kicker's younger brother, he tacked on, I believe, 2 field goals. Okay. So kicker U is in full force. Yeah, it was the largest spring game attendance in Virginia Tech history. 10 sacks by the defense, which always in a spring game, it's tough because you're kind of wondering, does that mean our defense is really good, or is just our offensive line still patchy? Because that was probably, I think, Franklin's biggest overhaul was to get the offensive line situated where he likes it. The other thing that stuck out to me was that the wide receiver production left a lot to be desired, but the tight ends really showed out. Luke Reynolds, who was the Penn State stud tight end who came over, I believe he had, 5 catches, 69 yards. Then Benji Gosnell returning, and Hairston, they combined for 9 receptions, 92 yards for the white team. But yeah, I think overall it was a great day. It was a great game. Unfortunately, that skydiving thing happened, and I kind of feel like it. I don't know if you guys remember back to happier times in the 2020 vice presidential debate with Mike Pence and Kamala Harrison. You remember that
Why?
fly landed on his head, and that was all anyone could talk about. We're like, I don't really know. Like, I don't want to grade Mike Pence and Kamala Harris. That's not what this podcast's about. But that fly took the show, and that was easy dub for Kamala there. And I think of our skydiving with the American flag, tying it back to politics there, crashing into the big board. Yeah, that's all anyone's going to talk about. It made NBC News. So yeah, that's where I am. I hope it's not a bad omen, but the only thing on that, James Franklin did say, and this was something I was thinking at the time, it is a good, because the game got delayed by almost an hour because they had to like get a big stick and poke the guy off, and then his pants fell down actually. No, that didn't happen, but it was a good practice for it was good practice for a football team. Sometimes there's delays, sometimes things go haywire, and you don't always get to practice those real world situations. So if we are going to turn lemons into lemonade, that's the story, or that's the angle. But yeah, I was, I'm not an objective commentator on this by any means. I think we're going to go to the college football playoffs this year, just like I did last year, the year before. But yeah, I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Blind loyalty, we love it. Kev, between March Madness, getting the UFC stuff ready, I've not been as in touch with Virginia Tech's offseason as much as you have. Of the 17 players that Franklin's bringing over, are we going like full defense overhaul, full offense overhaul, a little bit of both? Like, what's the
little bit of both?
breakdown?
I think the big question is, and this is something I meant to touch on, but we still haven't named our starting quarterback, and the performances yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Jones
and
is
it's
a
like a
battle right now?
5-person battle. So that's a little. I think but in terms of an offense versus defensive overhaul, I would say more of an offensive overhaul, because I think what James Franklin's doing is sort of
Right.
trusting Brent Pry with the defense. He can, that's the relationship they had, and Brent Pry is familiar with a lot of our players on the defensive end. So I think his main focus is getting the offense where he wants it. That's why they've spent so much time on the offensive line. I think we brought in something like 8 new offensive linemen, if not more. And yeah, I think it's what sorry, I had one more thing to say on the quarterback thing. Ethan Grunkmeyer, the Penn State quarterback from last year, had a good second half of the season after Drew Auer went down. He is who I think the betting odds favorite to be our starter is. But just his stats from the game: 13 for 17, 136 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked once. So pretty solid. I think after that performance, if I had to put money down, he's going to be our starter. But it is interesting how long James is taken to evaluate and make that decision.
What kind of archetype is he as a quarterback? I'm not familiar with him at all.
I don't want to describe him as solely a pocket passer, but he's not very fast. So yeah, probably a pocket passer.
I gotcha. Good to know.
Love that.
Thing, you guys only run zone. Like, the only guy who runs any sort of gap scheme is your quarterback, or in 2025. So if you're having a pocket passer, I wonder if they're going to switch up the run game at all, or if everyone's just going to know what they're going to do every play.
That's what Kev was going to say next, too.
But it's Cameron. It's like a complete overhaul of the coaching staff, right, Kev?
Okay,
it is.
Nice.
Yes,
nice.
Yeah.
So I was reading,
so it can be
listening.
pretty different. No, you're good.
Okay, guys. Fellas, does anybody have any other points that they want to touch on before we get into this mock draft situation?
Do we want to talk? Do we want to talk Steelers? And then I had some interesting thoughts about the Dolphins.
About the Steelers part. Yes, Jared. So, Jared, joking aside, what does your gut tell you about Aaron Rodgers? First of all,
I think he's going to sign. I do think he's he saw Kirk Cousins' money and he wants to get somewhere close to that.
Fair enough. And just overall, I mean, Cameron's going to be able to ask you probably better questions at this point. I yield that. So, Cameron, what you got?
Oh, dang. Okay.
No, I can talk, and then you guys can ask questions. Yeah,
I got stuff, but go for it.
I was gonna present it as if it was a novel concept, but I realized I should have realized earlier. But since Ben Roethlisberger, obviously we've had this quarterback carousel, and like the rest of the team has been pretty good, a lot of veterans, but then quarterback's been this glaring hole. So we're back to that situation. We've already talked about the quarterback situation at length, so I won't spend too much time on it. It's pretty binary, right? We get Rodgers, we're good. I don't think we'll draft a quarterback. If we don't, we're going to be with Rudolph and Howard. I don't think we would move up or try to draft Simpson at our spot. So I do think we would just take that developmental third quarterback and roll in with that group, which is crazy to say. Big offseason moves. We paired Rico Dowdle with Jalen Warren, which I do like as a combo. Gainwell was good last year, but I do think him and Warren's skill sets overlapped. We signed Jamel Dean to a big contract at cornerback, which I think will be a really nice pairing as well with Joey Porter. And then we also had the big trade and sign of Pittman, Cameron?
Yeah.
Pittman. Cool. Yeah. Pairing him with DK Metcalf. The rest of the lineup outside of quarterback is pretty nice. We lost our starting left guard. And then I think there's some positions like safety and inside linebacker that I think could be shored up. But really, like, we spent the last couple of seasons drafting high on defense, players like Keanu Benton, Derek Harmon. It's a good team all around, I think. So I think we need to hit guard. I think linebacker and safety are options, but we'll get to that in the mock draft.
Okay, I have a few questions on your take. So I've read pretty extensively that the Steelers are interested in getting an inside linebacker. I think they hosted for Top 30 Visit Jacob Rodriguez, who Tyler you brought up earlier. Yep. And I was wondering your thoughts on that because, of course, they have Malik Harrison and Patrick Queen, and I love Peyton Wilson coming out. He was like 27th on my board that year, and he just had injury issues. And I thought from the limited amount I've gone back and watched him, I thought he played decently with inside assignments like stacking and shedding. Of the middle, I didn't really see much sideline range in pro play with him, but I didn't know how you thought about Patrick Queen's pretty disastrous season, and if that was sort of fluky in the mix of just maybe some dysfunction that I'm not aware of, or if you think that you really do need to invest in another inside linebacker.
Yeah, you nailed it. Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson are the starters, and then Malik Harrison throughout the season got a lot more playing time, if I remember correctly, once we were having some serious issues stopping the run. So he was good as like a rundown linebacker. And then we also have Cole Holcomb, who, as he recovered from his ACL, I believe, last year, also started to ramp back up. I believe he's under contract. I could be wrong. But I think you're right. Like, in general, like, the linebacking core looks solid, but we still had those serious run stopping issues that I do think come down to Patrick Queen's inconsistencies. So I think that's where we would be looking to improve, is like a 3-down linebacker who's really good at stopping the run as well. Not kind of just like patchwork. I have him in my top of my mock draft situation here. Yeah.
Okay. Agreed. Yeah, because I feel like Patrick Queen can still be your sideline guy. You're like how Green Bay should have used Quay Walker, or the kind of guy who they say, all right, you're very athletic. You can go just do stuff, go try to get TFLs on outside runs and don't worry about the middle as much. We'll cover that because we run 3-4. We can compress. We have Keanu Benton, who I've always liked as a nose tackle. And then we got your gap filling linebacker and Rodriguez next to him. So a lot of it does come down to what Patrick Graham's going to do with player assignments.
Sure.
Because I do feel like he did a quite good job in Vegas with what he had, at least on the back end, because I don't think he really had anything on the back end, and it wasn't terrible. So I don't know. I think you should be pretty excited about your defense. The only
I think so too.
issue is that there are questions with your linebacking core. Are they just have to perform better. I don't the players on the roster just need to step it up, in my opinion. And then TJ Watt, feel free to speak on this if you want. A lot of people are saying he just doesn't look like himself. I haven't watched his tape at all from this last year, but I've heard that from a few different sources, specifically from some Steelers guys I know. And then I do like the Jamel Dean pick. I mentioned this to you right when it occurred, but I thought it was a little bit of an odd selection. There wasn't a vast cornerback market, but you typically have your boundary corner and your field corner just in like a standard roster building situation. And you have one side, you can lock up the boundary, you can stay on your guy if he goes down, you can play press, you can play a little bit of like off man or like cover 3, and then you have your field corner who can do everything, uber athletic as most corners are nowadays it seems, and that gives you a little more versatility. To me, Joey Porter and Jamel Dean do a lot of the same thing, which isn't bad. It just, in my opinion, limits the playbook a little bit if you are going to play to their strengths.
Yeah, I'm giving some benefit of the doubt for sure, because I agree with you off the bat. I think we have Corey Trice and Asante Samuel Jr. behind them, so I'm hoping this is part of Graham's vision for like a flexible scheme or something. But I agree, it's weird off the bat.
Anything on Watt? I just don't know. I've just heard he didn't look like himself.
Well. Yeah.
He could have lost a step. It's possible.
Okay.
I'm monitoring the situation. We do have Herbig and Sawyer kind of in the trenches, waiting in the trenches there. And so the recent buzz for the Steelers is that we may trade Highsmith before the draft, maybe get like a second or third round pick out of it to be able to free up enough cash to sign Herbig, re-sign Herbig.
Herbig
get
is
some capital
awesome.
out of it. Agreed.
He's so good.
He needs more playing time.
All right. I have other questions, but I'm going to save them for our draft because they're draft related.
Fantastic. Yeah. And okay, Kevin.
No.
Do you know what's going on?
No, not at all.
Never.
All right. Never. Not. Cameron, you have joined us for one episode. You clearly have figured that out. Thank you so much. Okay. Hold on one sec. We are going to now attempt this mock draft, gentlemen. Okay. So let's go over the rules, make sure we all know. So if my screen ever shares, can you guys see it? Okay, fantastic. All right. We're going to be going with the Eagles. We are going to be going with the Steelers. We're going with the Commanders. And then we said we wanted to add the Giants and the Cowboys to round out the NFC East. Do we want to add any more other teams on here, or do we just want to let the computer pick those?
I'm cool with this.
All right. Hold on one second.
Oh, Jared, you're muted.
Sir.
I was just saying all good.
Cool.
All good? All right. I'm going to go slow so we can talk about the picks as they're happening. All right. Let's do this. All right.
Are we just doing 1 round, Tyler, or are we doing 3?
Wait, did I only put it as 1?
I think you just put it as 1.
Dang it. Okay. Hold on.
I'm sure there's a way to reset it.
Now Tyler's the idiot with the technical difficulties.
Kevin, we haven't really proven ourselves to be like geniuses of the industry with this so far today. So it's okay though. We're fine. Everything's fine. We're great.
No. Okay. That's
what?
Cool. Oh, you put it as slow, but that's fine.
Yeah, no, I wanted it to be slow so that we could talk about the picks as they're happening.
You can toggle. You can toggle to the top left. Let's put it to medium and let's see how quick it is. Yeah.
All right.
And it'll pause.
Okay. Yeah, see how quick that's going?
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So we're up. Giants on the clock, number 5. Off the board, Fernando Mendoza, obviously. Jeremiah Love going number 2 to the Jets. I didn't see that one coming. Arvell Reese.
Did they?
Aaron Glenn was asleep on that one. Arvell Reese to the Cards. I think a lot of people saw that one. Ruben Bain Jr. to the Titans. They probably would have been wanting Jeremiah Love in this situation. That's where I've been seeing him go most of the.
This guy with the short arms, right?
Yep. And then now we got the Giants on the clock. I think it's simple. Sonny Styles. Cam, what do you think?
So just to have a real quick Giants discussion, I think they're one of the teams that can propel themselves the furthest with the draft if they make the right selections. I think they actually have a pretty solid team overall, and they have a good mix of superstars and then absolutely horrible players at certain starting positions. So I feel like you have a decent middle ground. You have your superstars. Superstars win championships, right? Like you have to make a play, and then you win. Oh, nice background. And then terrible players lose championships, right? You get a safety that gives up a big play, you're done. So here's the thing with the Giants. I think that they have Tyler Nubin at safety has been really bad. I do think he's been misutilized, and I think that he could be better in a different scheme. So Caleb Downs is a big option here. He might be the betting favorite right now. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think you really need to go that route because you do at least have players. Now, you said Sonny Styles. I love that idea to pair him with Tremaine Edmonds to be their linebacker duo. Now, it just comes down to, do you think that's a luxury pick or do you think it's a necessary pick? Because when I look at their offense, I say, do I want Daniel Falele trying to keep Jackson Dart upright? I say you have Malik Neighbors, and then who are you going to throw to after Malik Neighbors? I mean, right now their depth chart is Darius Slayton, Darnell Mooney. I think they have Calvin Austin, and nobody. So if you have Malik Neighbors and those guys, he's going to be bracketed every play. I mean, it's absurd. So, and then Dart will be in the pocket, and then you have Daniel Falele trying to guard, keep him upright. So I just feel like they just traded away Dexter Lawrence, right?
Right.
That was a huge move. So they have pick 5, pick 10. Yeah, they're probably going to go defense with at least one of these picks, but I do think that their focus should be keeping Dart upright, keeping Dart having him take that second year leap to make sure that he is the guy. And so I always like the draft philosophy when you first have when you're building a roster that was as bad as the Giants was a couple years ago. Draft an offense, then buy a defense, because you need to build the offense in a way that works, because you're not winning a Super Bowl with a bad offense. You can win a Super Bowl with an average offense, but that's just my opinion. I think that Dart needs to work. So I like looking at offensive linemen here, but that's not a popular opinion. So I
you're
get the
picking
Sonny Styles help.
Francis in this one?
Yeah. I'm either going Francis or Fano. Either one.
Okay.
But I'm not telling you to pick him. I'm just saying that's
you
where
see,
I go.
I like Spencer Fano better of the two, but I can't justify making that pick this high, I don't think.
Right. Now you have pick 10. You have pick 10.
We do have pick 10. So
you could theoretically go Sonny Styles here, get that middle of the defense short up, and then go see if one of those offensive linemen's available. That just comes back to the whole our receivers suck aspect outside of Malik Neighbors. So that's why I'm really fascinated by what the Giants are going to do, and why the only discussion we had leading up to this podcast was me saying, hey, let's throw the Giants and Cowboys in here. Because I think it's an interesting discussion that could honestly go either way, and either direction is completely valid.
Well, I was thinking along the same lines as you, like getting the tackle, but then I did some quick on the fly research, and I guess the Giants offensive line isn't too shabby. Fourth best pass blocking efficiency rating last year by PFF. The year before they were the 30th. So I don't know if they just kind of had a bit of a fluke season, but like when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'll lean off picking up a no lineman with their first pick. But then you started talking about it, and you convinced me again. But I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah. So just the thing, if you look at PFF grades, very quickly how PFF grades players, it's a play-by-play grade. They give anywhere between a -2 and a +2 for their for each play for each player, and then they scale it to 100 once you have the cumulative amount. And so what PFF grades show often are it's just another data point, like everything else, right? Like a 40 time. It's a very reliable consistency metric more than an overall performance metric. That's why you get these guys who are monsters with average grades, because they have a huge play one time, and then they have like a couple whatever plays, and then it kind of Yeah. So you have to be consistently very good in order to have a high PFF grade. That all said, with if you look at a lot of offensive linemen, grades on good teams that get the ball out fast, the OL just has higher grades and higher pass
True.
block efficiency grades. So I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case here. I think it is, but he didn't have a lot of Malik Neighbors went down. He didn't have options. And I think they had to scheme everything up for him last year. And he looked good. I think Dart looked good. I do. But I don't trust those numbers as much as I trust the names on the paper right now.
Well, when we got the PFF account, Tyler, for our college football picks, our picks went significantly worse when we started referencing the PFF grades. So yeah, I take it back. Let's go with the tackle draft. Click that button, Tyler.
Yeah, let's do it. Everyone else is going Sonny Styles, so let's try it.
All right. Yeah. Okay. David Bailey off the board. Now I'm going to let the communists make their pick here.
Kevin,
we got
you want to take this to start?
Yeah.
Am I dumb for going Caleb Downs?
Not at all. You want to talk about it? Well, wait. Before you click, I have something I have to say because I've been stewing on this for a while. Now, he's not available, but I just have to because this is the one point I want to make as a Commanders fan. So Jeremiah Love, if available, would 100% be my pick here. I think there's a world where he makes it there. He went 2 to the Jets here. Very unrealistic, but it's very realistic. He goes to Titans, even the Giants, or someone trading up. Dallas trading up to 6 for him. I mean, anyone could take him ahead of us, but I just want to talk about the Commanders as a whole. So 2 years ago, it was a great, successful season, Jane Daniels' rookie year, and he looked phenomenal. And he had a really bad team around him. A lot of lucky bounces, a lot of high pressure situations where he prevailed. That's excellent for him. Lucky bounce was not meant to be a jab at him at all. It's just how, the Bears game went, right? So you take what he did that season where he constantly was able to roll outside the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, make big plays over and over and over again. And you go to last year where Chris Moore was the number 1 receiver in terms of snaps from week 3 to week 7. Like that's insane. And it's not just that there were bad receivers starting. It's that Jane Daniels, he would try to roll out of the pocket when his first read wasn't open. He did that at LSU. He still does it. But then he would drop his eyes immediately and regress significantly. He got hurt. And here's the thing. When he had Terry McLaurin, then who was really good at the scramble drill, he would always look for him and then look to scramble, right? So you keep his eyes downfield. Now, even with Terry McLaurin on the team last year and doing all right in that situation, the missing piece was Austin Eckler. It sounds weird, but in 2024, he would look for his first read, he would roll out, he would keep his eyes downfield. If the guy wasn't open, he would look to run. And then if there was someone coming at him, he always knew there was an outlet. Austin Eckler was a smart player, even though he lost 8 steps. He was always in the right spot and he could get dump offs. He had 30-some receptions because it wasn't always, it was always ad-libbed. It was a safety blanket. Last year, he didn't have anyone in the backfield to help with that stuff, right? So what does he do? He rolls out of the pocket because he loves doing that, and he has no receivers open, and he has to run. But if he doesn't look down in time and someone's coming at him, he's just getting blasted. So he pulls his eyes down early because he has to, and then he develops these terrible habits over the course of the season. By week 9, every team knew what he was going to do, and he was just bad. He just wasn't himself. So I think that Jeremiah Love will, one, help not just with the outlet portion, but he can spread out defenses, right? Right now we have Ja'Cory Crossman-Merritt, pretty good up the middle. I like him as a player, but we need someone who is dynamic in wide zone, someone who can take tunnel screens, someone who can motion out wide after starting in the backfield. You have 2 running back sets where we bring everything in and then we motion him out wide, then they don't know what to do, right? So I just think that he's a weapon, and even though the team kind of sucks still in terms of the on paper names, that I think he would just be the most beneficial player to the Washington offense. Okay. He's not available, but I had to say it.
Yeah. Do you see any other running backs that kind of tickle your pickle?
Devon Achane. Trade for him. But that's about it. Nothing in the draft.
Well, I mean, isn't the next running back who's listed Jadarian Price, and he's supposed to go a lot later?
Same team.
Yeah, same team. All right. So, well, that didn't really get us any closer.
No, it didn't. It didn't get us anywhere. But let's go Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs. Kev, you good with Caleb Downs?
Yes.
All right, great job, folks. All right,
Cameron.
Now we got Sonny Styles, mid. Oh, yeah,
I'm just curious. Is he? I feel like I saw when I was doing some research. Like he could be. Could he be a player that slips? Like safety is obviously not like a high priority position. Is he a guy that could slip down the?
Kyle
the board?
Hamilton was picked like 14th, right?
Yeah,
and he was at least my number one player in the class in terms of raw talent. So I think Hamilton was a better prospect than Downs personally because he could do all this stuff. Downs is a ridiculously smart player, but Hamilton's a freak also. And Caleb Downs is not. So I think safeties could fall. I see a lot of mocks now. Earlier in the off season, a lot of mocks had Downs going like top 5, and I still see him to the Giants sometimes. But I'm seeing him fall as far as the Cowboys a lot. And while public perception mocks don't really mean much because it only takes one team to take the player that's highest on their board at any given pick. Yeah, I could see him falling. I wouldn't pick Downs personally, but I think that it's a very good pick. I think that is probably the weakest part of the entire team right now. Just the safety duo as a whole, and I can see it. So I'm not going to push back on getting who may be the best player in the draft.
Yep. Back to Giants.
I like
back
that
to Giants
logic.
pick too.
I'm looking at the board here. Is there any reason that the Giants don't take Cornell Tate in this situation? I don't think there
seems
is.
to line up with exactly what Cam was envisioning.
Yeah. All right.
The only argument is Jordan Tyson, but
and then
Cornell Tate's probably the guy.
No, Jordan Tyson injury prone. That's going to be.
I know. I just think he's a way better receiver.
Potentially, but that's the big but.
Exactly.
And so we're
the
going
big but. Okay.
Monroe Freeling off the board on the clock with Mr. Cowboys here. I like Dylan Thieneman as a player. I think he has a really high football IQ, which is being able to line up a defense that he's going to be going after on any given play. But my guy Kenyon Sadiq is still available. They don't need a tight end though. You see, now we're at a point where like all those big names that they could have used, or wait, Jermod McCoy. That's an interesting one for the Cowboys at this spot. Cameron, what do you think?
Jermod McCoy, this is my hot take of the draft. I think he had the best tape of any player in this draft, full stop.
Also injury concerns, though.
Right. I think his 2024 tape was significantly better than Delane's this year. I think in terms of pure skill, he's the top one player for me in terms of skill. Now, that doesn't mean he's the first on my big board at all. I have him around 8 or 9, I think. But I like the pick for Dallas.
I think it makes sense. So
I'd take him over Thieneman personally.
Oh, well.
While the slow picks are going, my only argument for Tyson at 10 is that you see Joe Shane took Jordan Tyson out for dinner recently.
Doesn't that? No, I'm kidding. That's against the NCAA regulations or some crap. I don't know. No, we don't got to do the beep anymore, Kev. All right, Spencer Fano off the board. Dylan Thieneman off the board. Ione off the board. Sadiq Darn off the board. CJ Allen off the board. Makai Lemon. God, I love watching his highlight reel off the board. And then Mr. Cripple Jordan Tyson off the board. All right, back to the Cowgirls, and now we're getting down into like the depths here.
The most Jerry Jones pick ever is Caden Proctor, but there's no way.
It is, but he's like so far down at this point. Like I almost want.
He's getting
like,
mocked.
I would much rather. Like they don't need a Mark Cooper. Or do they?
There's a Mark Cooper, the one who had the catch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The catch.
The catch.
Draft him on that alone.
Yeah. So let's just. Yeah. You want to break it down? Anyone have any thoughts? First of all,
I'm thinking Avion Terrell. That's what I'm thinking. I'm doing another quarterback.
I don't know if he goes in the first round after how slow he's been running. I think he's a good player. I think he has some. I think if Kamari Lassiter was versatile, he'd be like Avion Terrell. So I believe in him as a player, but I don't know. I don't see the Cowboys going a slow nickel corner. He's okay. He's an outside corner, but someone who might end up moving into nickel.
And that's
at
AJ
20.
Terrell's brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice, cool.
All right,
I
Tyler.
drafted
So
AJ
you're a
Terrell here.
different pick.
Hold on. Who's the highest linebacker they would be able to get? Because that's Jesus. There's a drop.
Yeah,
in
they could go
linebackers
Jacob
out there.
Rodriguez. I think that's valid. It's a little early for him, but I think that's in play. I think is Emmanuel McNeil Warren still there? Yeah, he's still there. I think that's in play. Also, just like a solid pass rusher off the edge. I
Right.
think is something they need.
But Emmanuel McNeil Warren also has that one glaring weakness that I saw in his statement that everybody else has been talking about. I can't say I personally.
He's from Toledo.
What?
Hey,
Well,
Quinyon
there's-
Mitchell slander.
Yeah, that's right. Quinyon Mitchell slander. Thank you very much. No, but just that what is it? He gets out explosive, but his lanky frame is like he has a hard time like stopping and pivoting himself. His agility is a little bit off. So
Same with
Karen,
Nick
do you agree?
Emanwari.
Who?
Emanwari.
Emanwari,
Everyone said
yeah,
exactly the same thing about him. So I'm not saying he is
And they got
Emanwari.
similar name. All right, you know what? You've convinced me. I think yeah, there you go. There you go. They took.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Jared's turn.
Jared,
Yes.
what up, buddy?
Oh man. Okay, I was really prepared to talk about Ioane, as we talked about before.
Oh no way.
So I do feel like that's a scenario where the Steelers could have traded up. I think in this mock he went 15th. I could see the Steelers trading, some picks to move up there and grab him. But with our current situation, I can talk through my thought process, and then Cameron, you can tell me why I'm wrong. I liked what I saw from is McNeil Warren. Oh, you just picked McNeil Warren.
Yeah, we just picked him.
Cool.
Sucks to be you.
Those are going to be my top. So Ioane and McNeil Warren were going to be my top 2 picks. After that, I think it would be pretty funny to get like a third 6'4" wide receiver to pair with Metcalf and Pittman. And I've been researching McCarthy's scheme, and I do see that he prefers like a big body West Coast style of offense. So Cameron, I don't know if you want to give me any insight into the receivers here. If that's
are you trying to get Denzel Boston off the board already?
I
really want Zachariah. Hold on, wait. I really want Zachariah Branch, who got arrested yesterday.
Oh, that was so dumb.
But it did happen.
So Boston's a big body, right? Tyson already went. I guess he would have been another option for a big bodied receiver. Are there any other options?
Jeremy Bernard's
right
got
now.
some size to him. Jeremy Bernard's got some size to him, doesn't he?
He's like 6'1", right? Yeah, 6'1", 204.
I didn't know I bought for my second round.
Yeah, the receivers kind of fall off a cliff, in my opinion, after the first, I think 5. Well, most people have 6. I'm not a big KC Concepcion fan, but
because of his size, or
I just didn't like the tape as much. I think there's a lot of projections, and I don't want my potential number 1 first round receiver to be projected to take the next step if they haven't shown something that I already think they're good at doing. So I just think I think a lot of people disagree with that take. I think he's one of the best kick returners in all of college football, right? And I think does a lot of good stuff in open space. I just didn't like what I saw from route running, and I've always been, I said at the top of the show, I like to go back and watch my misses a lot, and I love Kadarius Toney because I thought his movement skills were absolutely special. Like, he did stuff I still haven't seen people do on the field, and yet his route running sucked. It's like, how can you move like that and not know how to run routes? And I'm not saying he's Kadarius Toney at all, but I'm just saying I'm a little hesitant with that sort of run after catch archetype if you're not already good. That's something from what I personally see on film.
Jared, your pick?
Yeah, for the Steelers, I haven't done the research to know if there are like tackle prospects that, that could be potentially converted to guard. I guess I would be interested in looking into that. But in lieu of that, I would say let's go Denzel Boston. I don't think we're comfortable with Roman Wilson as our third receiver. So you could slot in your brain there off the bat. Yeah.
So what I consistently mock to them is Blake Miller, who is a right tackle. Now, I think Troy Fautanu, I know Steelers fans love him, and I think he has a lot of potential, but coming out, I thought he was going to be like an all-pro guard if he moved inside. Now I think he could be the Elijah Vera Tucker type where he's a baller guard and he's a good tackle. But I was wondering what your thoughts would be if you ended up taking like a right tackle like Blake Miller, who started for 4 or 5 years. So he's experienced. He's very good at pass pro. Good if Rodgers comes back, especially. Put him there and then move Fautanu into like the missing left guard spot that you were hoping to fill with Vega.
I'd be open to it. I just don't think the Steelers will do it. I do think we see Fautanu as a starting tackle. Broderick Jones is kind of the sketchy one, actually. So I guess I could see us drafting a tackle.
Dylan Cook slander.
Dude, Dylan Cook's nice. I hope he's still on the roster. I haven't checked that, but
I'm just checking one thing, even though my computer is freezing before I lock this in.
Yeah, he's on the roster. Vetman.
Awesome.
No, I want an edge based on the fact that we lost Jalen Phillips to compensate, but Akeem Mesidor and Jalen Carter play on the same side of the ball, but I just feel like that's both left edges.
Oh, dude, he can go anywhere.
That was what I was leading up to the question. If you let me get to the conclusion and not make me feel like an idiot. God, I'm angry again. No, but okay. Akeem Mesidor is my pick.
Great pick.
Tyler, point of clarification. Did you say you want an edge or you want 2 edge?
Yes.
All right, I'll put my hand down.
Nice.
All right. Well, we just had a lot of jumps there. We got
let's do
players that are deep.
Oh, yeah.
Hayden Proctor gone. Avion Terrell gone. TJ Parker gone. Blake Miller, Omar Cooper Jr. to the Texans. Ooh, that's dangerous. CJ Stroud to throw to him. That's going to be fun to watch. Max Iliancor. I don't think I've even heard his name yet. Iliancor. Okay, I never.
He's only played football for like 4 years in his life.
Oh,
he's a baller. Yeah, he's probably going early.
He's got that Yaxel.
Did he play another sport before?
I don't remember.
Or is it just like a Yaxel Lendenborg situation where he just picked it up and was good?
And Tyler, who have the Dolphins traded? Because they're an intriguing team to me. They have a lot of team needs.
Who have they traded or who have they taken?
Sorry, who have they taken? Yeah,
they took Cassius Howell with the pick that they had from Denver.
Right, that's the Waddle pick, and then they had
and then their
11.
actual. Why does this thing not scroll the whole way up? That is stupid. Monroe Freeling for tackle.
Okay.
Yes.
Patrick Ballslander.
Cameron, I saw he had some big soft hands. Freeling, right?
Oh yeah.
I love the soft-handed man. Love the soft hands.
Some nice specs.
Did the Giants? We already gave the Giants Carnell Taylor. Am I forgetting that? Yes, we did.
Yeah, I have a kind of a boring pick here, but I think getting someone like Christian Miller.
We're into round 2. Let's get a little more boring.
Yeah, I think Christian Miller is he still? Did he go yet? Oh, the pick before.
Ooh, that's tough.
That's rough. All right, I don't like Lee Hunter too much, but I think they lost. I had mocked them going a defensive tackle in round 2 before the Dexter Lawrence trade. So
so now you need you have a double down. They need that
pretty much. So I thought Christian Miller is a very good nose tackle. So I thought he'd be able to at least fill that role.
Well, what about Peter Woods? He's still available.
Yeah, but he's more of an attacking defensive tackle, and I feel like that's what they're doing with Darius Alexander, who in Toledo, I believe, was a lot better against the run, but it's just not the NFL archetype. Like I think they're trying to rush him. So maybe I like Peter Woods to them a lot when Dexter Lawrence was there. I'd just be concerned about their inside run defense if those were the only options.
Well, it's either him or Lee Hunter, and if it really just comes down to pedigree, it seems like Peter Woods is the play. And I don't think there's a right answer. I think the right answer was Christian Miller, but if we got to give him a defensive
or Colton Hood.
Guy,
I mean, they don't have a cornerback, right?
Colton Hood, yeah, that is true.
No. I forgot Greg Newsome. They got him, and Deontay Banks isn't starting anymore. But I'd still be down for Colton Hood.
I'm going to agree with whatever you say, Cameron. At this point, whatever you say is fact. So go ahead. We're going to pick. Who,
all right, of those top 2 guys, who do you guys like more?
Peter Woods.
All right.
I feel like Clemson still has some defensive line pedigree.
Yeah.
Which is odd because I've never really liked the hand over the last 3 or 4 years. I haven't liked the hand usage of any defensive lineman coming out of there. It's weird. It's like none of them know what to do the second the ball snapped. But they've always been, everyone says, yeah, they're excellent defensive line coach, high pedigree, as you said. I don't know. I haven't seen it in
maybe
the
when
prospects.
Venables left, he was the real D-line whisperer or something.
When was that?
That would have been whenever, what's his face, went to USC. I want to say 2021.
That checks out then.
All right, Jared, you lost a lot, obviously, going through those
Jacob
picks.
Rodriguez to the Jets.
Jacob Rodriguez to the Jets. Okay. Poor man.
Modern day Luke Kuechly.
We got Jeremy Bernard going to the Panthers. That's interesting. Was he ever there with Bryce Young at the same time?
At Bama?
No, I don't think so.
No, definitely not, right? No. Okay. Yeah.
How old is Ryan Williams now at Alabama? Is he like 19 or something, or is he still 18?
Like 13.
Yeah. And Jake Golday.
Is Dunker guard on the board? I'm trying to look at what like the next best guard prospects are.
Yeah.
IOL there.
I hate how. Why do they
polarizing.
do that?
You click both of them.
Rutledge is still on the board.
Rutledge.
I know you have.
Go up, click filter positions, and then click tackle also. You can click both of them.
Filter position. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dunker is still available.
Because I had seen Dunker mocked as a guard pick for the Steelers. Maybe he could be a convert there.
Yeah, I like it. Now, the argument around him is that one, he's not a very good tackle in pass protection. Mm-hmm. So people are saying to move him inside, but he's also kind of tall. So his anchor against like 300-pound defensive linemen's in question. I like him. I think he's kind of a nasty guy. You stick on the inside and can run some good zone like they did at Iowa. But the argument against that is that the reason you're moving him inside to guard is because he's not good at tackle. And okay, so there's no promise that he's going to be good.
Is it pronounced Jennings?
Yeah.
Jennings with a G, Dunker. That's a great corn-fed Iowa tackle name. So let's go for it.
Hell yeah, we love it.
I want the Bucks to draft him just so that he'll play on the same line as Cody Mock. If you look at their pictures side by side, it's beautiful.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, Tyler, get that up later.
That can be the thumbnail for the video.
Yes,
perfect.
Yes, it can. Okay.
Is it the new like AJ Brown, DK Metcalf next to each other picture?
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see. Okay.
I want to be stupid.
Ooh,
get Kyron Jones.
And I want to. I'm entertaining the idea of Jadarian Price for our special teams. I know that's a weird concept, but it's what I'm thinking. Because the only other option I wanted a tight end, and I'm sticking with that because of how I think, like somebody to grow, so to speak. And
why don't you like Stowers?
It's not that I don't like Stowers. It's just I'm hesitant. It's a mental block. Okay, what's my case for Stowers, Cam?
He had a 45.5-inch vert. No, the case for him, I mean, he's basically a wide receiver who plays the tight end position. He's like 235. Yeah, he's an athletic freak, former quarterback, knows the game. He's just a pretty good mismatch over the middle. And
I didn't even wait for you to finish that sentence because when you were talking, I was like, look, this whole thing, I want Jalen Hurts to start getting some weapons so we can get back to normalcy in Philadelphia. So I like that pick for myself.
Well, firing your offensive coordinator was the right move.
Look,
that was so bad.
I agree. I'm excited with what Sean Mannion and Howie Roseman are cooking up right now with all the offseason moves we've been making.
Yeah, legitimately, the only way the Eagles won games last year was by out-talenting teams. Like that's how bad the offensive coordinator was. They had so much talent, so they won sometimes.
Look, I understand. Okay, we had Vic Fangio, who was basically running a mafia defense. Okay, and it is what it is.
That's not bad.
A what?
Your defense was fine.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Mafia
defense is a good thing. That
was okay. Terminology.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
Okay. I'm not. too
It's
much
a
of an
Philly
idiot.
thing, the mafia.
My
You know.
brain is
Oh, yeah, the
special. All
Philadelphia
right.
Mafia.
Notable players that went off the board. Josiah Trotter, gone. Bryce Lance, wide receiver from North Dakota State.
Spicy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, very spicy. Yeah, that's wait, yeah, 2 players from North Dakota State actually, I think now gone off the board before we go into before the later rounds. Okay. So, I'm on the clock. I got my tight end. I got my edge.
We were just talking about Oklahoma D line. Why don't you pick him up?
Grayson
I'm not
Halton?
listening to you.
Yeah.
Talking about?
No, okay.
Do you need a
safety?
I don't
Say
know
it
if you
again?
need. I don't know if you need like a 3-tech, like a penetrating 3-tech. You have Moro Ojomo, and of course Carter, who can play anywhere.
Yeah, I don't like Jomo though. I've never been a fan. I don't think he
I
gets
think
this
he's fine for your
production
third
we need.
option.
What's
Hey.
his nickname?
I don't know.
Jomo. I got an idea. What do you think, Tyler? What pick are you going with?
I'm
going to screw around again. I'm taking Elijah Surratt.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Commanders.
So you remember everything I said about the Giants when I talked for like 7 minutes and their receivers. If you have one receiver, then you basically have no receivers unless he's a god. Same. So can we sort by receivers?
Yeah.
I see a couple of them there.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
Dak Branch.
Oh man. Yeah.
Dak Branch.
Yeah, I'm not a huge
Antonio
fan of any of
Williams.
these. Oh, Stribling. Stribling's still there. He this has not been updated recently, clearly. I mean,
No.
because Trevor Sycamore ran this board and then he got fired from PFF along with everyone else on that end of PFF. And like Stribling is being talked about as a potential second round player. Like he's probably early third or mid third, but yeah, he's shooting up right now.
That's an inside take. Wait, what happened? Why are they all getting
Oh,
fired?
PFF got Chris Collinsworth sold for $100 million.
Shit. I didn't know that.
Was it Equinox? I'm not gonna look it up
like
right
the
now.
gym?
But no, I don't think that's the right name. But he sold it, and all the guys, at least in the podcasting world, lost their jobs and have been sort of talking about everything that was going wrong with PFF. So yeah, I'm not sure who's managing this simulator right now, but I don't know how like whose board it is or anything, but Stribling is good. So I'd probably lean towards taking him here. If you want, Kevin, do you have any other takes, any other direction you'd want to go?
No, you've convinced me on Stribling. I feel like the only reason not to pick him right now is because if you say he's going to go up farther, then maybe that's not a realistic pick for this. But
yeah. I think this is within his range, but I do like the realism take. I think it's sorry, I cut you off.
No, you did not cut me off. That was that was unfortunately my only thought as we get to this third round.
Stribling going once, going twice. Sold.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
I was looking at those wide receiver names. There was a lot of names that were still like good producers on the board.
Yeah, another interior offensive lineman would be nice, but it's no one really talks about that for Washington for some reason. I mean, they cut Tyler Biadasz, which was weird. Like they saved $2 million cutting him. It was very odd. There must have been something behind the scenes I don't know, because that just doesn't make any sense. And so Chris Paul, Nick Allegretti are their our starters, which is, again, it's like the Giants situation. It's fine, but it's not ideal.
Jared, can I interest you in Taylor Green?
He's all the way at the bottom there. Yeah.
I filtered it for QBs for you.
We get a Cole Payton.
I'd rather take whoever, because the Steelers have 3 third-round picks. I don't think we've gotten to any. This is the first one. So I'd rather save quarterback for the end, see who's still on the board there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm looking at safety. I'm looking at off-ball linebacker, maybe interior defensive line. Let's go to safety first.
Okay. Highest ranked available of those positions, it looks like, is Kyle Louis from Pittsburgh. So let's go safety first for you. Kamari Ramsey, Genesis Smith. You can wait. I don't have to do that for you.
Is that a Stroman that played at Tech, Kevin? There? Did Jalen Stroman or no?
No, that was Greg Stroman, right?
Okay.
I don't want to be wrong about that.
I think you're right.
So I'll fact check.
The only one on this list I recognize that I had on my board was Bud Clark. Cameron, I don't know if you have any other insight into these guys.
Kamari Ramsey's not going to go that high. Most likely, he's been falling down the boards lately. Genesis Smith doesn't know how to tackle, but he's a good player. So if you want someone who doesn't know how to tackle, go ahead and take him. Zakee Wheatley is good. I haven't watched his tape yet, but so I don't have much more insight besides various consensus rankings and discussion. But I see Wheatley or Clark as the next safety up.
All right, let's go Clark.
I saw did go to Virginia Tech.
Oh,
good
of course.
Transfer, yeah.
Just
that's why he's
we love a nepo situation. Yeah, let's go Clark. I saw he's center field type player, had a bunch of interceptions. Our safeties are pretty old with Jalen Ramsey and Deshaun Elliott. So
now, do you think they'll play much single high stuff? That's just kind of not really existing too much in today's league.
I don't know. I think maybe Graham can use him somehow, but yeah, you're probably right about not using too much single high.
He'll be good either way.
Yeah,
Jared, if you want to double down on safeties, Kamari Ramsey's still on the board.
Let's go to linebacker. Let's stick with the plan.
The man's got a vision. Anthony Hill Jr. I like. Oh, Deshaun Elliott. I like both of them.
If I remember correctly, we used a visit on Elarm's Orr there, or at least we're interested in him. For my research. So that was the only guy. That's the only guy I recognize. I don't know if anyone has insight on
back to back.
Yeah,
frogs.
Dude, Anthony Hill Jr.
He's a beast.
I think he's had so many. Wait, Anthony. Yeah, he's had a lot of top 30 visits and he's just an athletic monster. So a lot of people are mocking him in the second round.
Okay,
so
let's do that.
Yeah, I feel like he would fit pretty well.
I wasn't familiar with his game.
I apologize. I clicked that before you said official. Was Anthony Hill the pick?
We trust Cameron.
Okay.
Can you go to where are the picks? Your picks on the left-hand side next to full draft.
What? Oh, yeah, your picks. Okay.
Okay, interesting. So I think Jared sniped the linebacker. That would be the pick here. So that's good.
So I mean, hey, is he? Let me check. Was he still on the board? Deshaun Elliott is still on the board.
Yeah, I think this is around the range where they start looking into. Why did I just look up the Pittsburgh roster? Start looking into a third wide receiver, right? Because they have CeeDee Lamb and Pickens, but it's about it. So I think if there's someone they like here, they take. Yeah, I think I could see them taking any of those top 3 guys.
Fields.
Yeah.
Malachi Fields?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, no, I like that. I like that. He's a little bit of what they have, but.
Well, now they have more of it.
Nice.
Deshaun Elliott off the board. Rayshon Benny, Jonah Coleman. All right, now I'm on the clock. My picks. I have Akeem Mesdor, Eli Towers. I need to get some more. Do I need backfield defense? I want to see what's still. Well, no, we're just looking at linebackers. There's not Caleb Burns or Jared. In your research, did you have anything on Orr that would make me think like I want the guy? Or
I mean, he's just like a mid-round prospect.
Arms or.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems like a good prospect, just like some weaknesses on tape. I saw reading zone, filling gaps, things like that.
Right,
but
safety. Let me check.
Seemed like he had good upside.
Kamari Ramsey's still on the board. Yay, Kamari Ramsey.
Wait, don't click draft yet. Just talk about it for a second. So first of all, I think I think Wheatley's the next best safety available. I also think he'd fit that strong safety role pretty well. Kamari Ramsey played a lot of slot this last year, which is weird. And the whole thing on him is that his single high usage and his deep safety looks in 2024 were a lot stronger. And I don't think that the Eagles necessarily need that as much. So I could see Wheatley being a better piece for them. May I also interest you in the Howie Roseman special of drafting offensive linemen a little bit early? And maybe looking at the guards and tackles available, see if there's something that might, someone who could potentially take it over later for Tyler Steen or Lane Johnson when the time comes. Yeah. I'm not saying they will, but I think that's he always looks that direction.
I want to say yes, Cameron, but hand up, we're past my depth with these names at this point. So, I
could see Travis Burke going this early. I think he's like really late on the board. I think he's like in the 300s or something. But yeah, he's shooting up. They had a visit with Markel Bell, who's like the 6'9" monster. So this is around his range. If they wanted him to.
That's.
But to your point, I think Zakee Wheatley would be the most impactful in year one pick at this point from who's on the board. So he could go anyway.
I'm gonna go with Markel Bell because I like the size that you just mentioned.
Ooh, moment of truth for Jared.
Yeah, let's stick to the
script. Aaron Rodgers in the locker room.
Yeah,
Do you want the QB list?
Yeah, let's assume Aaron Rodgers is going on a full season darkness retreat, and we have to go quarterback here.
Didn't they just legalize psychedelics or something? So that probably hurt his chances of coming back.
Legalize it.
What kind of psychedelics?
I don't know. I just saw a pic. Joe Rogan was in the White House, and I think they were legal. It was for some psychedelic legalization thing. So
I'm about that.
I did see that some experimental psychedelics. Yeah, he's probably signing up for that as we speak.
Wait, this isn't a joke. Joe Rogan was actually at the White House trying to legalize a psychedelic.
I swear that Trump signed something. I mean,
Trump signed some experimental, allowing some experimental, psychedelic.
All right, well,
they're gonna make Aaron Rodgers go back to the Steelers and just give him hero doses every Sunday.
So my heart wants Taylor Green, but for him to fizzle out and then have a Terrell Pryor type season where he gets over 1,000 receiving yards for us.
Nice.
Cameron, is Nussmeier or any of the quarterbacks at the top of the board, so much better as the developmental prospect that they're worth taking over Taylor Green?
I think Drew Aller is the quintessential developmental quarterback. If he came out last year in the draft, a lot of people thought he might go in the first round. And he wanted to go back to school so that he could become a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
And we see where that left him. So he's just a big guy, strong arm, has all the tools you want. He looks like one of those guys who could he looks like a top 5 NFL quarterback, right? When you just look at the body that they have. So I could see him being a pick if you want a developmental guy. I think Nussmeier today is the best quarterback there by a long shot, but I don't know how much better he's going to get. That's just my take.
And it is interesting because I think, like you were alluding to earlier, our Will Howard is the developmental type quarterback, and him and Mason Rudolph also both have that ideal NFL quarterback frame. So I'm tempted to YOLO and just go Taylor Green here, since he's different.
Go for it. Getting him in the 3rd round. You should use that as a thumbnail.
All right.
Jared, you still never officially said, yes, I want him. You said, I kind of like. Do you want Taylor Green? Yes.
I like him.
Wait, no. Oh, dang.
All right.
Oh, what a good grade. Oops.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I have to. Wait, why did? All right. You know what? I'll figure that out later. Okay.
So if we hit 100-leg parlay that we got the exact draft order correct, how much would that pay off, Tyler?
I'd have to probably. I don't even
I'll work
know
on
if
putting it in
like
my
that's.
DraftKings account.
I don't
You
even know.
send me
You
the
probably have to go
screenshot.
on like Polymarket or something to do that. To be honest,
Have
with
enough
you.
to buy Greenland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Polymarket, if you want to sponsor us, we do not have high morals on this show. We will take it. No, this is good, man. I'm excited. That was a lot of good discussion. God, Cameron, you are a genius. Good Lord.
I like this stuff.
We can all tell. Okay.
Anything to plug, Cameron? Are you still putting out content on Camalytics or your YouTube or anything?
I'm not actively putting out content.
Okay.
I had a child recently, and that's taken most of my time. So this draft season, I've watched a lot less tape than I usually watch. I've gotten to most of the top players, top maybe 70 or 80. Usually I'm about 200 in at this point, but what can you do?
If you got a page that you want me to link for the episode, we can have.
No, this is where the fans have to go for Cameron's content. Is this podcast?
Yeah.
Since he...
Yeah, they have to come right here. Also, camalytics.blogspot.com. So Camalytics is what I go by. I still occasionally post there. So I'll post my predictive mock. Not to brag, but I'm gonna brag a lot. No, the last 2 years, my predictive mock's gotten 12 picks right each of the last 2 years. Usually the top industry guys are around 8 to 10. So feel pretty good about that. Hoping to try and match that this year. I don't have as much of a feel for like insider info, if you will, like what team boards are actually starting to look like this year. Just haven't had the time, but yeah, I'll be dropping a predictive mock right before the draft for sure.
There you go.
We'll make sure to tweet that out on all of our socials so we can hold you to that. See if you're going to be as accurate this year. I'm sure
there's no way.
Based on the way you're talking, you could have me fooled. To be honest with you, man. But
a few more years, you can get that kid doing scouting reports for you. So it'll pay off. It'll pay off.
Yeah, who's gonna say no to talking to a little child?
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Well, gentlemen, we are at an hour and 40 minutes. Good Lord, that was a lot of talking. But we all are gentlemen who do have full-time jobs. So I'm going to be spending 2 days doing some nice edits on all of these. If you are listening to this, odds are it's probably going to be Wednesday morning. So less than 24 hours until this draft. Ooh, it's going to be a good time. I'm so happy that it's going to be in Pittsburgh. They always get rowdy for this situation. And hopefully, well, I'm trying to think. Jared, I haven't looked at the schedule, but it'll be at game 4 come draft night?
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting. I think if the schedule worked out the other way, this coming week would be insane with the Penguins, Pirates, and the NFL draft all going on this week. But yeah, I don't know exactly when it comes back to Pittsburgh.
Okay, we're going to be monitoring that situation very closely as well. Yep. By the way, go Flyers. Everybody, if you're tuning in all the way, wow. Thank you for watching this entire episode. And remember to like and subscribe and tune in for our next episode where me and Kev are going to be going to the White House UFC lawn event. We're going to be doing